tower that's had a lot less to do recently.
It's great to have you back in Australian skies. Welcome to Sydney.
It's great to be back.
How exciting!
Welcome to Qantas.
I'm so excited to see you again. Welcome back.
We need to collect some documents from you, and so what we would like to do is just understand if you're ready with your documentation. Okay, first passengers, please arrive.
Come on through.
Good evening. The arrivals hall at Sydney Airport welcomed back the sound of tears and laughter today as our international border reopened. There was a story behind every hug and every kiss, and a hope that we never have to endure being cut off from family, friends and the rest of the world ever again.
With a scream, a wave, a run and an almighty hug, Australia was open once more. The arrivals hall of Sydney International, dormant for so long during the pandemic, instantly filled with 18 months worth of emotion.
Delicious. Heaven, heaven, this is so lovely.
Like Deb DePici, reunited with granddaughter Pia.
Oh, they're little delicious. How are you, little pumpkin?
I just can't wait to touch my mother's hand when I see her. I can't wait to hold her.
After 582 days with the border closed, every second mattered for those that made the early morning trip. And for those that no longer could.
I was just devastated. I couldn't just get on a plane and come when her husband died.
It's a little bit scary and exciting. I've come home to see my mum because she's not well. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's all anxious and excitement, and I love her heaps and I can't wait to see her.
Singapore Air, the first flight in under the cover of darkness, then Qantas, welcomed by a stunning Sydney sunrise and a flight control tower that's had a lot less to do recently.
It's great to have you back in Australian skies. Welcome to Sydney.
It's great to be back.
On board, a cheer, relief, these passengers finally home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sydney and the local time.
Yeah, cheering, everybody's elated, we'd all traded stories.
One of those stories belongs to Carly Boyd. She got on the first flight to surprise her parents.
Ladies, can you tell us what this moment's like?
I mean, it's pretty amazing. It's been like 3 years since I've been home, so it's pretty exciting.
And what's that 3 years been like, not being able to be home?
I've been in New York and it's been pretty stressful, but just be able to come home without having to go to quarantine is huge.
Balloons, signs and flowers for a fiancé that spent 2 years away.
What's it mean to be back together now?
Everything. Like I haven't felt happy for so long. I'm just so thankful she's here.
They are tentative first steps, but with the return of people to the arrivals hall and the return of flights to the sky, Sydney and Australia has its return to the rest of the world.
Australia is open. Australians are travelling again.
It's a celebration because it's been such a long time coming, so we're so happy that we can finally be back out here.
It looks like the borders will open and stay open.
At midnight last night, those still in quarantine released and relieved.
It's really good. I've got the dubious honour of being the last cohort to go through the full 2 weeks of lockdown.
Hotel quarantine. For so long, our barrier from the virus and from the world, now resigned to history, and those still unvaccinated.
Tremendous hugs there, Charles. Let's go live to Charles at the airport. A lot of people jumping at this first opportunity to head overseas tonight.
They are, Pete. Behind me is QF1. It is the flight from Sydney to London, now via Darwin. It is Qantas' flagship route. It's just about to push back. And tonight, for the first time in a long time, it is full. There were 14 flights that left Sydney International on this, the first day that Australians could travel without an exemption. Tonight, though, we have breaking news on incoming flights. Tourists from Singapore will be permitted to enter Australia from November 21, establishing a bubble between the two countries. All of this on a day when right across the state, people broke off the final shackles of lockdown anyway they could.
4 o'clock this morning in Strathfield, Charlene Arsenal itching to break free, bags packed for Bathurst.
Feeling very excited. We finally waited for this day. So, yes, just very keen to hit the road.
GPS loaded and Charlene and her boyfriend hit the road at first light. The fields along the Great Western Highway have never looked so good. For the first time in 4.5 months, straight into the arms of mum, sister and dad. Down south, Simone Collignon and her family fleeing Curl Curl, heading the Monero Highway for Jindabyne.
5:15 with the 3 kids, 3.5 kids.
Just surviving.
5 hours drive. From the backseat crew, a million "Are we there yet?" And mum and dad couldn't be happier.
We're pretty excited.
Country towns all over the state tentatively welcoming Sydney back to its cafes, wineries, the very best the bush has to offer.
It's like we've had our wings clipped for the last couple of months and now we're sort of spreading them.
At the domestic airport, 1,000 travellers, each with an excuse to get out of Sydney. Craig off to see his parents in Byron.
Good to see Mum and Dad up there because they haven't seen us probably since Easter.
And Barbara heading to Kingscliff, northern New South Wales.
I haven't seen my daughter and granddaughter for 6 months, so it'll be nice to see her.
Premier Dominic Perrottet took a plane heading west on a private jet for a tour of Dubbo.
Let's go. Let's go.
Big game hunter for a day, with the giraffes at Western Plains Zoo now open for visitors. The Jets are back, breathing life into the regions. At Coffs Harbour, grandmother Marge spotting 3-year-old grandson Archie and daughter Marie up from Sydney. In the last 2 weeks, Qantas and Jetstar have taken 500,000 domestic bookings. Compare that to 20,000 taken in a fortnight in August. And bookings to Brisbane, Cairns and the Gold Coast are up tenfold in anticipation of the Queensland border opening on December the 17th. Mark Burrows, 9 News.
For breaking news, turn to Peter Overton, nightly at 6.